And hello, my cost control class here. We are entering into week number 10 of our course. Week number 10, we are officially entering into that. And just a few things here that I want to address. Okay, and this does not apply to every student that's in my course, but I have noticed somewhat of a decline in terms of activity over the last maybe 2 weeks or so. I want to stress to you, do not look at the points that you're getting on a weekly basis and take it for granted. What do I mean by that is some items, for example, like your midterm project, of course, the sections that you're writing for your final paper, things according to that matter, have a heavier weighting towards the grade. They're heavier weighted compared to, let's say, for example, the weekly discussion post and also the weekly summary and assignment that I'm giving you all on a weekly basis outside of the midterm project that was due back in week 8, and then also the sections that you're writing towards your final paper, which you will submit your final paper in full in the final week of this semester. What am I saying to you all? Okay, do not take this for granted when you are engaging, okay, on a week to week basis. It shows activity. One of the things that I happen to do is in regards to attendance. On Friday evenings, early evenings, I happen to take attendance on a weekly basis. If you are showing activity online, you're engaging and you're answering the discussion questions that I've provided for you all, and let's say, for example, you're submitting your assignments, things pertaining to that matter. Now, I know, of course, that the assignments that you turned in on Saturday nights are not reflected for that current week when I take attendance on Friday. But it is very important to show activity on a weekly basis. I'm marking you either present or absent. So keep that in mind. Your grade overall is determined upon your effort and what you put into this. And I think many of you all, as scholars, you already know that. I know that many of you all are taking 5 or 6 credits, you're taking full loads, and really it's all about time management. If you are experiencing any problems, and many of you all have been pretty good in terms of reaching out to me, reach out to me ahead of time and let me know what's going on. Okay, we can sit down, we can work out a comprehensive plan. Arrangements, okay, could be made. The written language and verbs in the blurbs in the syllabus, the written blurbs regarding late assignments, if you look at your syllabus, is that for every day late that you are with an assignment is 10%. 10% daily reduction. Now, let's say, for example, if you're late on an assignment for 4 or 5 days, that's a considerable amount, okay, when I add that 10% daily. So don't submit an assignment and I don't hear anything from you, okay? If you really take value in wanting to get a good grade within this course. And again, I think many of you all know that already. Most of you all do. Now, of course, okay, this is not an indictment towards everybody, okay? There are several of you out there doing great and you're meeting deadlines in this class. And I have told you so, that you are doing great. So keep that in mind as we move forward, okay? Week number 10. All right, let's get into what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the employee scheduling. We're going to talk about employee planning. We're going to talk about employees' rights, okay, when you're running a facility. So as you read chapter 10, your chapter 10 readings, that's what you're going to engage in this week. This is the written lecture that I provided, as well as textbook and definitions and terms are included within this as well. So think about the manager's position when it comes to employee staffing and planning. I think many of us, what we happen to do is that because an establishment is maybe small, all right, in terms of ownership, it could be independent and not part of a franchise. We don't think that these things really matter, okay, when it comes to staffing. We don't have to offer benefits. We don't have to distinguish in writing what's considered to be full-time or part-time. All right. That's a misconception. I think that the independent restaurant owner that happens to own a small establishment should stay abreast, okay, and should have policies, okay, regarding full time, part time staffing, and then also offer some sort of benefits to their employees, okay, even though, of course, when we look at employee staffing, it's probably on a much smaller scale compared to maybe a large franchise establishment. So look through the written lecture that I provided for this week. It breaks down defining jobs, for example, the hiring process when a individual applies for a job. Like, for example, what are the duties of a chef? What are the duties, okay, of a restaurant manager? What are the duties, okay, of a waiter or waitress? What are the duties of a dishwasher? Okay, someone that's maybe cleaning up. All right, it's good to have a detailed job description. Once you've hired that person, maybe you have a probationary period, for example, maybe 3 months or more. Okay, and then you could take that and equivalent that to performance standards. All right, again, job specifications are really important. Okay, what are the duties and the responsibilities? Okay, what is the hierarchy? Okay, what is the order in terms of who that individual reports to? Who is their supervisor? Okay, are there supervisors that work up under the restaurant manager? Could be shift supervisors. Okay, it could be a lead chef. All right, and under that lead chef, for example, you may have 3 or 4 chefs that report to that lead chef. And then, of course, a job analysis, okay, which happens to be, okay, just an evaluation of performance. Maybe after a year, it could be an annual thing or something pertaining to that matter in terms of when you evaluate a person. So look through this information here, look through the content, and this is connected to our chapter 10 textbook readings with our topics that we happen to be discussing. As always, on a weekly basis, you have a discussion post. You're going to have 2 to engage in. All right. So taking out the textbook are the discussion post. Okay. And I kind of took in reflection. Okay. I like critical thinking to be applied on a weekly basis with our activities in terms of what we happen to do. But however, I do take from the textbook and I do tie that in with critical thinking and with reflection, okay, where you're giving your own input. So discussion question 1 talks about job descriptions, performance standards. Okay. Once you put yourself in the role of a hiring manager, create a job title using a position within the restaurant industry. I want you to create the job title, reporting supervisor, summary of description and duties. Okay, you can look at figure 10.1 on page 149 to complete this task. And again, I'm kind of looking for uniqueness here. I'm looking for your own words. All right, so there should be a uniqueness in every initial response. And then, of course, discussion question post 2. Okay, talks about low caliber staffing. Okay, and it talks about a scenario, kind of a scenario here that's been created. Insufficient pay to attract and maintain better workers, poor treatment by the line workers and supervisors. Now, most of you all, okay, may have worked in the hospitality industry, okay, or you're currently working in it. I want you to reflect on the time where you encountered one of the instances mentioned in terms of how a restaurant ends with low caliber staffing. Write a brief summary about that experience and your response to this discussion post. These are due on Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. Now, your assignment for this week, again, is somewhat reflective. Okay, it talks about employee staffing. All right, there are definitive terms to full-time and part-time employees. Okay, there's also references in terms of fixed costs when discussing a full-time employee or part-time employee. Now, COVID-19, as we've been enduring this now for 2 years, we've gotten much better. Okay, has presented challenges when it comes to staffing in hospitality. All right, the restaurant industry is part of the hospitality industry. I want you to find a video clip on YouTube that discusses the challenges of staffing within the restaurant industry. Now, what I want you all to do, disregard what I put down here in response to the thread. Okay, I want you to share the link on YouTube. Okay, here's what I want you all to do, and I'm just looking at this because initially this was a discussion thread post, and I turned it into an assignment. What I want you all to do, you don't have to share the link on YouTube because what you're doing is you're writing 2 paragraphs in Word document. So disregard this part, and I'm hoping that everyone is looking at this video. Do not share the link on YouTube, okay? And I'm going to change this over. What I'm going to do is revise this. So as everybody's looking at this, okay, you'll see that revision's been made. All right. I want you to write 2 paragraphs, okay, reflecting on this, okay, about the challenges of staffing. So you're going to choose this YouTube video clip. And what you're going to do is you're just going to cite the reference of that YouTube video clip. So you're going to provide a reference page at the end of this and just give me 2 paragraphs on Word document. Okay, I do apologize for the confusion as everybody's looking for this video, but you will see that the revision has been made when you actually look at the requirements of the assignment. This is due, of course, next Saturday at 11:59 p.m., as all of your assignments are due on Saturday nights. Okay, everyone, that is week number 10, employee staffing, organization. That's what we're going to be doing. As always, here's my contact information. If you need to reach out to me by text or phone, you know my availability already when I receive calls and when I receive texts. Okay, everyone, Professor Javier Black officially signing off. Enjoy your weekend and good luck in week number 10.